This program raises questions. This program is for people who find it hard to trust God. The best answers are wrapped in flesh and blood. My friends, people who are enduring real tragedies every single day. Quadriplegia, muscular dystrophy, stroke, bankruptcy, loneliness, singleness. We're going to talk to those very people who have touched my life.
Hi.
I'll tell you, he is, I say is, because when I think of Dom, I don't think of him not here, I think of him more alive than ever. And what a man, what an incredible man.
A lot of stories.
His stories in this B-26 bomber are incredible, just absolutely incredible.
Anybody that's flown those things in combat has got incredible stories.
Absolutely. Remember? Your grandpa flew that. Isn't that cool?
Wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more.
I have always admired the greatest generation, and you know who they are. Surviving the Great Depression, only to find themselves fighting one of the most horrific global conflicts of all time, World War II. They are the people who defined the character of America. Men who fought on land, sea, air, flying these things. Like my friend Dominick Mazza, humble, fun-loving guy, Italian-American to the core. And to look at him, you would never guess this man flew 11 passes over Omaha Beach on D-Day. That took character. But that was a long time ago. And character of his sort, well, it's hard to come by these days. And we've got to talk to these men before they're gone, before they're no longer with us anymore. And I can't, I just cannot allow someone that I know from that incredible generation to slip away into eternity without understanding a little bit about that American character. Because Mr. Mazza represents men of unflappable courage, yet profound humility. And I want to glean all I can from this simple man of great valor. Like so many others, he risked it all and faced death with unflinching bravery. And right now, we are losing several hundred of these men and women from this greatest generation every day. Friend, we will face a deadly battle, a war that is greater than any military mission. It is a struggle that requires real courage, a fight to live. So please, I want you to come and meet my friend, Dominick Mazza.
Had that hanging in my office.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a great shot. That's a great shot.
Makes me think
You
of you
had
every
that
day.
done. Didn't you have that done?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great shot, man.
9th, right?
Absolutely.
Let me get my glasses so we do a good job today.
Don't cut the mustache off.
No, I sometimes trim the mustache a little too much. But your father would be proud of me. He was a barber. You trust me with your mustache?
Just barely.
Just barely? Beautiful. How do you say beautiful in Italian?
Bellissimo.
Bellissimo.
Don't rub the body.
How about going outside? You want to go for a walk? Yeah. And we're going to turn this way. And we're going to lock you down. Well, I know you never would have done this for yourself, so I went and took your medals and had this made for you. And I hope you enjoy it. I know you've never even mentioned it to people, but you've got the won the Bronze Star, and this is the Air Medal with 5 clusters. So that means you won the Air Medal 6 times. And the African campaign, and congratulations, the Good Conduct Medal. Evidently, they weren't paying very close attention from some of the stories I heard, which is a good thing.
I'm so excited to sit down with you, Dominick Mazza, because you're part of what I think is the greatest generation.
Oh, that's nice of you to say that.
Why did you sign up?
Somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew I belonged there. Now, don't ask me why I knew I belonged there, but I did. And I knew I belonged in the military for a long time.
How old were you?
Let's see, Irene and I married that same year. I was about 18 years old
When you signed up?
when I signed up.
This was the picture you carried of me all during the war.
That's right.
It kept you going.
That's right.
This is it.
I used to,
Then we can see why.
I used to have a big magnifying glass there, too.
This was the reason to come home.
That's the reason he came home. He said, I'm
That's
coming
right.
home to that girl.
Well, the only one more appreciative than Mom that you came home is me.
We met at a dance. I met at a dance, and he was with his brother, and they tossed a coin to see who was going to dance with me. And the story goes that Don lost.
Because the B-26 is...
My first year on a B-26, we lost better than 50% of our squadron because of malfunctions to the aircraft.
And you hadn't even gone to Europe yet. You were still in training.
No, we were right here in Florida, beautiful Florida. That was the Widowmaker, and the other name they had for it was One a Day in Tampa Bay.
He used to sing to me on the bus, and we used to go from the air base to Tampa, and he didn't care who was on the bus, he would sing the song and hug me.
The B-26 was my first airplane I ever flew solo.
Is it true that you flew the B-26 and you did not yet have a driver's license?
That's very true. I didn't know how to drive a car. Couldn't drive a car.
But you could fly the B-26
Oh,
bomber.
absolutely. That's
Unbelievable.
easy.
Now, I can't figure out when you leave this airplane, where do you leave it when it's going down? Out of the bomb bay door?
If you're leaving it, you're leaving it out
When you left it?
of here.
You bailed out, right?
Bail out here. There's a Bombay.
Bomb bay opens here. There's a rail across the bottom.
The rail runs completely across, and the accordion's out that way,
Uh-huh.
and the people jump out of that.
You go out on the beam and then drop out.
Go on the beam and you jump out.
The B-26s flew so low that they could hit them, you know, from the ground. There was flak bait.
Bad nickname to have, flak bait.
Yeah. We got hit, and the engine was hanging off of one side. So we blew the whistle. The whistle, when you blow the whistle, that means get your tail out of there. We bailed out. 5 men bailed out, 5 of us.
Were you in the airplane helping them bail out, or?
I was the one that blew the whistle. That meant get the heck out of here. I was the last man to bail out.
What did you bail out into?
The good fresh air.
Were you over water or were you over land?
Over water, over the channel.
The English
We
Channel?
were coming over the English Channel. It was a March day, cold as the son of a gun, raining, and we were over water, and we knew we were over water, very cold water. I remember saying, if I'm going to make this, I'm going to make it now or never.
Ms. Moser?
Oh.
Ms. Moser?
So you have very little.
Hi. Thank you.
You have very little control over the whole operation.
So when you hit the water, what happened?
When I hit the water, I bounced out of the water.
You got wet.
The parachute, the air.
Parachute stayed alive, was alive, carried me along the water, picked me up, dropped me down again, picked me up about 3 times. I'm trying to cut myself loose from that. Something grabbed the back of my neck, and I thought somebody, well, you know, you got thoughts of being strangled. It was a hook. Guy put a hook on me
From a boat.
from a boat.
So a boat saw you come down because you were popping up in the
You know
air.
exactly where we were.
Wow.
It was the SC Air Rescue from the RAF, and
How many of your crew were pulled out?
all of us.
Everyone was
Everyone,
saved.
everyone.
Wow.
Everyone went to work the next day.
Went back, just right back to flying again. What was your mission on D-Day?
You better had gone to the John, because you got the urge after you realized what you were up to. You could walk across that channel because all you saw were aircraft. All the sky was all black with airplanes. We made our first invasion over Omaha Beach. The enemy, we had to get behind the enemy. They were embedded in the high ground. We had to try to get behind them and blow them out the front. They were up in the hill, shooting down, and you've seen hundreds of pictures of them, where they're firing at these poor infantrymen and jumpers as they're coming off the LSTs and LTIs, and as they let those flanks down, they come off, and these Germans just picked them off one at a time, and they were floating in the water, body floating in the water. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible thing
you see people floating in one after the other. I mean, one plane load comes in and the planes were blowing up. And we were getting direct hits. Then if a plane got hit, the whole plane got hit and blew up. It made more of a catastrophe.
Keep in mind now, everybody's 18, 19, 20 years old. And there's a lot of things that cross your mind when you're doing that. Every now and then I think about it. In the meantime, I don't want to think about this, but I'm forced to think about it.
And you can't get away from it?
And I can't get away from it. And I know that it's going to come back again if I don't do something about it.
Well, when you would have a flashback, how would those fears stop?
Good question. How do you stop a flashback? How do you stop a flashback? You don't. You live through it. There were several times in my life recently that I would become fearful.
Did those experiences of watching other people die bring about a lot of fear?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, a lot of fear. You know, when you see people die accidentally or that way, you there's no way of describing that, really. You go to grab onto something, hang on to something. You've got to have faith somewhere. You've got to believe in strongly enough that somebody will reach in and take you out of the pit.
Now, I heard, your son told me that you saw something quite amazing during this particular flashback. Who did you see?
I saw Jesus. That's who I saw.
Where was he?
Sitting right on the end of my bloody bed.
No way.
Yes, he was.
Well, I've got to ask, what did he look like?
Yeah, well, everybody asked that first question. Jesus looks like, I'll tell you my interpretation. Jesus sat at the end of the bed, sitting on a post. So I'm going, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be," and I'm trying to get it all out so I could remember it. And then it came to a stop, and he kept going. I thought, my God, he's asking me to come ahead. I'm coming ahead of my time.
To heaven.
You know?
But no, he just wanted you to finish the Lord's prayer.
No, he wanted me to finish the prayer. And it took a little time to figure that out. So when I said the prayer, things all settled down in me.
And the flashback went away. So did Jesus?
I was trying to stroke his face because people say, "What does he look like?" And I couldn't really get to feel him. He looked like he was in a silk curtain or something, you know. And I touched his face, and he like disappeared, like vanished. He was like in silk skin, you know.
Like he was there 1 minute and then...
Yeah, no. You couldn't touch him, you couldn't feel him, you couldn't feel him.
So, how's your eyes? Is it hard on your eyes?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't had close.
Yeah.
You know, just recently, I've experienced something. I'm a hospice person right now. I'm under hospice care.
Right.
Doctor came to me and he said, "There's no hope for you." That's exactly what he said. I said, "Hospice care, that means I have no chance to live on medication." He says, "That's right. You're a hospice care. You don't have to take any more pills. You don't have to take anything you don't want. And the good Lord will see you out of this thing."
How did you feel when he told you that news?
Do you know that I had never felt better in my life?
Wow.
Because I said, and this is the gospel truth, and the Lord knows it. I said, I'm 87. If it's my turn to go, let me go.
Is that why you chose not to go on dialysis?
Yes. I don't want dialysis. I'm going to be with my Lord.
So your faith in Jesus Christ means a great deal.
Oh, of course. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. Come to me, all you who are travail, and I will lighten your burden.
This is something really new for me. We go one day at a time, and every day that we have together, I thank God. I say, thank God for this day, and thank you, and that's all I can say.
I think that's the best advice that you could give me in a wheelchair or friends watching who are struggling. It's one day at a time, isn't it?
That's right.
By the grace of God.
And thank God for what He's doing and giving us every day. We've had a wonderful life together. After all these years, he's like a part of me.
How long have you been married?
65 years.
65 years. Wow. Unbelievable.
It wasn't supposed to last either.
I love all these shade trees.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
I think they're elm trees right there.
I think so. Where's your apartment?
Right across the way.
Over there? Okay, well, let's head there.
But if you could lay your head on a pillow and say, if I go tonight, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going.
This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through.
There's two ways of looking at death, life and death. One is to take it and fret over it, and the other is to take it and say, Lord, I finally made it. I finally made it.
For a time that we must part.
That day I was at Dominick's memorial service. I was so touched by one of his grandsons who stood up front and through his tears said, to me, Grandpa was America. It But just watching the way those soldiers folded our flag made me think of the many men and women, even in recent wars, who have lost their lives in service to our country. I mean, how they faced death. And I can't think of a better word than conviction. I mean, they faced it with such conviction. And it begs the question, can we say we would face death with the confidence born of our convictions? I mean, could we even face death with courage? I was so moved by Dominick's way of looking at death. I mean, here, a young airman, he faced death on one battlefield, and then in his 80s, it was like he just switched battlefields. He had such a peace about dying. And friend, I don't know about you, but I want to look at my future that way. Although I venture to say that, like me, many of you struggle with the fear of dying. No matter how old you are, it seems to loom like some foreboding cloud on the horizon. And you know it's coming your way, and you can't do a thing about it. You can't escape it. Well, I've got good news. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14 and 15 from the Living Bible says, Jesus became flesh and blood, and he died, and only in this way could he deliver those who have lived all their lives as slaves to the fear of dying. Friend, that's great news. I mean, first it says God understands your fears, and that he's done something about that. So wonderful, so grand and awesome to actually deliver and rescue you from that fear. Christ is the one who on that day is going to shield you and carry you through that dark cloud on your horizon. And it's my prayer you'll follow the example of my friend Dominick Mazza and make your peace with God. Because you never know how far away on your horizon that dark cloud really is. So trade your fears, would you, for the hope that is found in the Bible, that's found in Christ. Lay it all at the foot of his cross, trusting that Jesus has broken the power of death to rescue you, and then live in the calm confidence of knowing you no longer need to be a slave to the fear of dying. You could be alive to the joy of living.